100%. He is not only the best winger in the Premier League, he is one of the best and most consistent performers in the Premier League, hands down. Hands down, 100%. But yes, what you cannot now do is take a guy who not only is he performing in the Serie, he's performing in the freaking Champions League. Ricardo, is Saka... Two questions. Is Saka world-class now? Is Saka going to be one of the best players in the world in the future? What are we saying about my man Bukayo Saka? Because his stock is rising. His stock is rising.
All right, let's have some conversation about Bukayo Saka.
Oh,
okay,
God.
So Saka, is he world-class? No. Is he
Why?
going to be... Wait, hold on.
Okay, all right, okay.
Hold on. Can I land? Bukayo Saka. He isn't world-class because to me, the definition of world-class is somebody who has been the best in their position for an extended period of time. Okay? And this is where Arsenal fans need to calm the hell down, because all I've been hearing over the last year is that they have top one player in every single position in world football because they can't relax that they might win. Okay? He can be world class. I see it. I see that he can be world class. Will he be world class in 2 to 3 years? Yeah, if he keeps this level up and he improves, because the standards, the expectations are only going to get bigger every single time. And if he can meet up to those expectations, he can definitely be world class. But he isn't world class right now.
Let me quickly push back on that whole thing, and let me just... So you say you have to be world class. You've got to be one of the best players in your position for the period of time. So Saka. So what do we say? So Saka, you would say, is an inside forward. We say that? We call him wide forward.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to even pin players these days, but yeah, inside forward, right winger,
So my thing though is, who are the players who have been better than him in his position for like the last year or so?
Well, are you talking specifically like just the right wing? Because I honestly, when I talk about wingers, I like to put them in the same category, because typically your left winger is somebody who's right-footed and your right winger is somebody who's left-footed. So
for me, I feel he falls under the guise of Mahrez, Salah, Vini, Valverde. I don't know what the hell they're doing. Dembele.
Yeah. I mean, I can see the comparisons with, like, you know, those types of wingers like Vinicius, Dembele, the number 77 of Napoli. I can never pronounce the name.
Kvaratskhelia. Shout out to Osimhen. Kvaratskhelia.
The Georgian Maradona. He's up there. I mean, he has been better than a lot of them this season. He's been better than Dembele. I think the conversation with him and like Vinicius and what's his name again? 77. I think there's genuinely there. I like I said, there's Prem tax, there's English tax. He's a good player. He's definitely one of the best right wingers in the world. You could argue he is the best out-and-out right wing in the world. Who else really plays on the who really plays in the right wing that is top? Like Salah, but Salah isn't having his best season. I think Salah's actually having an underrated season, but I don't think it's his best season.
No, he's not been. No, but see, Ricardo, my whole thing with Saka is, of course, his potential is there. Of course, he's been outstanding. But for me, I feel that, can you do it in the Champions League? Doing it in the Premier League is cool. But that's why with Saka, it's tricky. I want to now see Arsenal in the Champions League, but Saka was pretty good in the World Cup. And this is what I keep on saying. Why was he subbed off against France? He was playing well. I don't know what Southgate was cooking. If Saka had stayed on that pitch, maybe it's a different game. Yeah, Kane missed that penalty.
He was cooking beans on toast. Classic. But no,
Charles is going to be pissed off, man.
I mean, who else is a right winger? I mean, his competition on the right wing really isn't that.
It's because there aren't that many. Exactly, there aren't that many good right wingers.
Yeah, and typically your right wingers are left-footed players. We know that left-footed players are a scarcity in football, anyways. So I mean, like, Messi's not even a right winger. The guy's more of an attacking midfielder, anyways. Who's a Salah? I mean, it's really his only.
He's not really had a great season. No, because remember, so we have Salah. Can you say Rodrigo? Can you say
because Rodrigo's best games have literally come from the left side. So
like down the center. I would say maybe Dembele, Gnabry.
My thing is that I think we should compare Saka with whoever plays as a flanked wide attacker. So Vini, Rodrigo, Khvicha, so
I'm still taking Vinicius and what's it called?
Khvicha,
KKKK.
Khvicha, just give me
Sure,
Khvicha.
whatever. Him.
Elias, what do you think about Saka, man?
I say Saka. He's like the tier right under world class. Because world class, this is like a special tier of like.
Yes.
This is a very special player. I think there are very few world class players in football right now. I think not only do you have to be like top 3, maybe even top 2 in your position to be world class. You need to have that special quality, and on top of that, perform at an extended period of time in the highest stages. It's like a multitude of requirements in order to become world class. I think Salah is a fantastic player. I mean, Saka is a fantastic player. He's having a fantastic season, and he could become world class. It's a real possibility. Just we need to see more. And for example, I would say we even need to see more productivity from Saka to be put on that world class stage. Because on that world class, you're competing with, for example, Mbappe. You're competing with Haaland. Maybe not in the position.
Yeah,
but
Mbappe. You could have put Mbappe in there as well.
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah,
yeah.
you're competing with Mbappe, with Vini, with all these players who, like, yes, like they perform and they play really well, but their productivity is also insane.
Yeah, I mean, like,
That's also something that they have to keep in mind.
Yes, yeah. What do you say, man? Saka, is he world class now,
Um,
or we need to chill?
I'm gonna be real. I'm very biased when it comes to this. I am. I make sure.
Okay.
There are 6 players that for me, they're world class. They're generational talents. Yada yada. That's Gavi.
Oh.
That's Araujo. Marcus Ballender, Rashford. What you call it? And Bukayo Saka is in there. And Bukayo Saka is in there.
So yeah, Saka is generational.
I think Saka is arguably one of the English greatest talent that they ever produced, in my opinion. Like
ever produced.
I don't think it's very difficult for me to. I don't know. Maybe you know better than me, but I don't know.
I mean, like England had Gascoigne, they had Joe Cole, they had Rio Ferdinand,
like
Scholes.
This kid.
You know, we literally said this about Phil Foden when he was balling because he played like a Brazilian.
I don't rate Phil Foden.
Yes, the reason why you can't do this is let us see him have an amazing international tournament. Let us see him in the Champions League on multiple occasions. Look at what Vini just did in the UCL last season, what he's doing this season. Look at what Mbappe did for Monaco and what Mbappe has done at a World Cup. So my thing is that to say this, you have to look at his contemporaries. Look at what Mbappe and Vini have done at international tournaments and at Champions Leagues.
But
Saka doesn't have that with him. Now, you can say that he has the talent and the potential, but he hasn't said what Mbappe and Vini have said.
That's why I did a disclaimer. I said there's 6 players for me that these guys are my guys. I don't care. And you can say whatever you want. I'm not hearing it. Because here's the thing.
What do you mean you're not hearing? So if someone has football logic, you just don't say no.
No, here's the thing that's underrated about Bukayo Saka. Bukayo Saka plays for Arsenal Football Club. In my opinion, Arsenal Football Club is top 3 biggest club in England. In terms of pressure, in terms of fan base, in terms of everything, playing for Arsenal is not easy. And even Bukayo Saka was the best player for Arsenal when Arsenal was going through it. He was carrying Arsenal.
No. What Saka is doing, it's his quality. Crazy. Look, see, you have to put things in context here. Saka is amazing. And the fact that we're even having this conversation and we're even putting him in we're even having a conversation with Vini and Mbappe shows just what Saka is doing is freaking amazing. So his talent and his potential and his ceiling is freaking incredible. But we also have to be fair as to where is he now compared to his contemporaries.
Right now, in terms of contemporaries, easily top 10 players in the world. He has an argument to be top 5 player in the world right now. Bukayo Saka, he is. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you. In terms of a winger, Kvaratskhelia, you can say yes.
Okay, yes. Let me push back. Can you be, and maybe Elias and Ricardo can come in, can you be a top 5 player in the world without performing in the highest level competition, which is the Champions League?
But I listen. Okay, I get that point. I get that point. But for me, that's an inevitability. That is going to happen. He's going to perform in the Champions League. He's going to perform in the World Cup, etc. That for me is not even a question. Is going to happen. But when that happens, you guys can be raving about him all you want, but then the guy is unbelievable. So for me, I look at in terms of the Premier League, he's the best winger in the Premier League. And in terms of in the world, there's an argument between who's better between him, Vini, or Khvicha in terms of wingers. Especially
wait, arguments.
There's an argument. I believe there's an argument.
There's
no.
I think
there's an argument because
Yes, so you see. Here's my thing. See, you have to just chill here. Saka 1000%. You can say he's the best winger in the Premier League. Standard. Like you can't even argue what he's been doing for Arsenal every single week. 100%. He is not only the best winger in the Premier League. He is one of the best and most consistent performers in the Premier League, hands down. Hands down, 100%. But yes, what you cannot now do is take a guy who not only is he performing in the Serie, he's performing in the freaking Champions League. So my thing is that because the Champions League, that is a whole different level. Now, yes, let us see next season because Arsenal are definitely going to be the UCL next season. But you cannot now say there's an argument of a guy who's only been performing domestically, whereas a guy is performing domestically and in the highest level competition, which is the UCL.
Oh, okay. I no, you're right. And I said that's why I said an argument. Like I'm not gonna lie to you. I get it. If you say you're right, everything you say is right, yeah. But for me, when I watch the players and I use my eye test, yes, I'm gonna say eye test. HH, when you watch Saka play, Saka can beat you out wide. He can play as a wide.
Have you seen Khvicha play?
No. Hold on. HH, he can beat you out wide. He can cut inside. He could be an inside forward. HH, you also have to remember where this kid come from. This kid was originally playing as a wingback. HH. The kid was originally playing as a wingback. He became a winger. I can say, you can say he could play on the left. I can say Saka could play both sides too. I get Martinelli plays on the left, but if you want to, say you wanted to buy another winger, he can play on the left and he'll be.
No. Look, Saka's look for me. Look. See, I said, look, he is that good, and I wanted to see him develop and so forth. I mean, but look, okay. Last thing here. So, Ricardo, what do you think is Saka's ceiling? What is Saka's ceiling?
Okay. His ceiling. He's 21, right? 21, 22?
21.
21. Okay. I don't think he.
21.
Look, I have.
So what are we saying? Ballon d'Or winner, consistent, top 3 in the world.
Look, the reason why he looks
tier 2.
The reason why he looks amazing. Okay, I'm gonna tell you the reason why he looks amazing is because we have no standard for him. We have no standard for him. So anything this guy does is gonna look absolutely incredible. It's like, for example, when Phil Foden came on the scene, right? We're talking about English talents right now. When Phil Foden came on the scene, we saw a very unique English player. I've never seen an English player with that level of technique.
Yeah.
Right? The guy looked
or dribbling ability, anything. It doesn't happen.
Exactly. He looked different. He wasn't your prototypical, what's it called, English player.
Because, do you remember Joe Cole?
I do remember Joe Cole, yes.
Joe Cole was not a typical English player. That guy is one of the best talents English have
exactly.
produced. Yeah.
So, however, with Phil Foden, just because this is a more recent example, we all thought Phil Foden, he's the next great English talent. Come from Man City's academy, going to play under Pep Guardiola. He's going to develop into a world-class player. Season in, season out, the standards for Phil Foden started to get bigger and bigger and bigger. And you could see, with these standards, you kind of see where he is at. Is he raising his game to the standards we're putting on him? Every single year, we're just going to up those. It's the same thing with Vinicius. When Vinicius first started Real Madrid, there was talent there. We saw moments of it, but there was inconsistency. There was times where he wasn't put in the right system. But nobody saw that season Vinicius was having last year. Nobody saw that. And it was a damn good season. So what does he have to do? He has to replicate that same season, not in terms of trophy, but in terms of performance, and then replicate the numbers, or if not, succeed. If you do anything lower than that, then you could argue, oh, that was just a one-off season from Vinicius. But no, Vinicius, again, he's having another great season. So we know that Vinicius is rising up to the occasion. He's showing levels. He's improving as a player. He's living up to the expectations. Again, this is only the first season. This is the breakout season for what's it called, for Saka. Well, next year with the Champions League, is the pressure of playing the Premier League, defending that title while playing in the Champions League. Defending the Premier League title, assuming they win. playing the Champions League, is he going to succumb to the pressure, or is he going to rise above the occasion and be better, put up better numbers, show the reason, double down on that? Yeah, I was the best right wing in the world last season. I was better than Mohamed Salah in the Premier League and arguably the best right winger in the world. I'm going to double down and show it again based on what I've done the previous season. That's what I'm saying. Anything Saka does right now, like, it's just going to be amazing. It's just going to be amazing. And that's it. That's like we're glorifying everything this guy does because we did not expect that from him. The same way we glorified Vinicius last year because we did not expect that from him. So it's going to be one of those things. And we're going to see how much he improves. If he improves exponentially, he's a world-class player in his position. I personally think that he isn't world-class right now. He can be. Will he be definitively the best right winger? We'll have to see. And personally, for me, I don't like throwing the word world-class. Like, to me, world-class is a status that, like, kind of, you once you earn it, you'll always be seen as that. So, for example, like, let's say, okay, let's from the top of my head, Luis Suarez, he's not world-class anymore, but you know he was a world-class player. It's almost like a membership. Once you get it, you'll be remembered as that.
Yeah,
Saka, he isn't a world-class player. If you watch football today, like it's this season, first time ever watching it, you're probably thinking, "Oh, this Saka guy might be a world-class player." But we've seen what he was before. Now you could say, yes, you said to credit to the system that has made him better, and Arsenal weren't like this seasons prior, despite being, as a wingback or whatnot. But but this is the first season, and it's coming with a Premier League title, so those expectations are going to be a lot bigger.
Do you mean like Rashford, like how Rashford's a world class player, like Saka won't get it?
I mean, market.
Ricardo, ignore that trash that came out from.
I mean, look, let's be fair. Rashford is probably playing at a world class level. He's not a world class player, though. Let's be honest.
See, that's
Don't do
a
that.
proper distinction.
Don't do that.
He's playing at a world class, but you can't call him
This
a world class
is the
player
month of
because
Ramadan.
you see,
Don't do
I
that.
think the very definition of world class, you have to focus on the word world. When you focus on the word world, is you are performing at a high level against your peers globally.
Yeah, of course.
What Saka is doing is domestic. So you can't now put world upon him because what is he doing against the very best in the world? Hence why we have to now wait until he now has another really. Because his World Cup was cool, but was he one of the. Here's my thing. Who was better at that World Cup, Musiala or Saka? Germany went into the groups, but Musiala was far more impressive at that World Cup than Saka was.
England tax, Southgate tax.
Germany was horrendous. Not only that, but it depends who his competition is in his position and who's world class. Because one thing that's always bothered me, if I'm going to be brutally honest, we called Messi and Ronaldo world class. If those two are world class, I'm sorry, nobody else is world class.
No, but I think those guys are like S class. Those guys are
well,
like
yeah,
S
of
class.
course. But I'm saying if we're consistently calling them world class, if we're calling the Suarez and the Lewandowskis of that time world class, I'm sorry,
Ricardo. It's football Twitter. People, bro, they call this Perrier water bottle world class. Everything is world class these days. Elias, what's the sitting for Saka?
Oh, wait, hold on. He was Jesse was gonna ask a great question.
Is Ronaldo a world class?
Cristiano Ronaldo
right now.
Cristiano Ronaldo.
Right now,
Like he said, once you get the title, you got the title.
Oh no! What do you mean? Cristiano has always been world class. He's not playing at a world class
I just want to
level.
hear it. I just want to hear it.
Okay, good. Elias, talk now. Let me meet him.
No, I once again, I think Saka could be a world class player, but I think he's always going to be that under that tier, like right under world class, where he's going to be an amazing player, like one of the best, but not in that category of world class because as you mentioned, world class is a very specific.
No, but Elias, you say this stuff, but in 5 years it could be very different. Remember, in 5 years' time, Ronaldo, Neymar, Messi, these guys will be fully gone. Right now, it's going to be Mbappe, Musiala, Pedri, and so forth. So in 5 years' time, don't you think there's a possibility where, okay, he's not amongst the very best, or you just don't see the seeds of somebody who can really develop? Because he could develop he could even take his game to an even greater level and be like, oh, wow, he's not even pushed on. So that's next level of player in 3-4 years' time.
This could be his maximum, too. You don't know.
Because that's well.
Exactly. Oh, and yes, sir, you have Saka as a generational talent, right?
That's crazy.
You have him like that. So for example, when you say a generational talent, you compare him, for example, to Mbappe. And for example, when Vini Jr. came onto the scene, he's being compared to Neymar. To these players. And so when you compare this,
sorry, Yasin, come on. Are you really putting Saka's talent on the same level as Vini and Mbappe? Saka's quality is good.
You know,
But are you really
I'm not gonna lie to you. He's a better footballer than Mbappe. He's a better footballer than Mbappe.
To be honest, there's a lot of better footballers than Mbappe.
Yes. Actually, in terms of natural talent,
I mean, like for example, like every player is like better than Haaland, but Haaland's a world class player.
That's
true.
Elias got me there.
like Haaland, his technique is like garbage, but like, hey, there's you can count on your hand.
What
like,
he does is at a very high level.